Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Craft with Barbara Drake, and I'm so excited today to share with you what I'm going to make. This beautiful stamp collection is called Waves of the Ocean, and it was a pre-order for demonstrators February 1st. It will be open to customers on March 1st. This stamp set and die will be available in the annual catalog, which will start May 3rd of this year. And the items that came in with the collection, I wanted to show you. It comes with everything: your stamp set, your dies, your DSP, the blue foils, and the rhinestones. And I want to show you up close and personal. I'll grab them one at a time. These are the jewels that came with it. And they're showing here, they say 6 colors, but they're only showing 3 of the colors. They have here Coastal Cabana, which will be this one here on the end, Night of Navy, and Pacific Point. And I'm thinking the 3 here, I'm thinking this is Granny Apple Green, maybe Balmy Blue, and I'm thinking maybe Pool Party for that one. I think they probably just forgot to list those names there for those 3, so I'm sure somebody will catch it and we'll find out later what the 3 are. So those are the jewels, and you can see they come in different sizes all the way up. And then the DSP is so beautiful that it was actually handcrafted by one of Stampin' Up designers who hand poured paint. And I understand, I think they're going to be, Stampin' Up is going to be coming out with a video showing how it was done. So if that happens, I will share that video. I'll have it on my Facebook page, Crafting with Barbara Drake, on my Facebook page. But look at the beautiful cells in that. And one thing I really love about Stampin' Up is the color coordination. So in this pack, and they tell you on the back of each package that you get what the colors that go with it. So in this case, you have Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Petal Pink. So what you do is, here's your Coastal Cabana here, here's your Granny Apple Green, and your Pacific Point. So right off, you know, as you're stamping, or even you want to use your blends, the same colors, everything coordinates, which takes the guesswork out of you having to figure out what colors are going to go with it. So here we go. And again, they're using your Petal Pink in this, if I can find it here. Looks like your Petal Pink and your Calypso Coral. Beautiful. I'm anxious to get started on making cards. Look at the, telling you, beautiful job. I think this one right here is my favorite. Love how the cells came up. If you've never seen hand poured paint before, I've seen it videos done where they put it on canvas, and it's just the designs that they come up with is absolutely gorgeous. So that's the DSP. So another thing I want to tell you is what Stampin' Up is saying, that these 3 items, the DSP and the blue foils and the rhinestones, are only going to be available while supplies last. The way I understand it, they're not going to be carried over into the annual catalog. So if you're interested in this stamp set, again, customers can purchase it starting March 1st. I would, if you want it all, I would go ahead and get the whole collection. But these here are probably going to go super fast. And then as far as your foils go, you get Silver, Night of Navy, and Coastal Cabana. You get 2 sheets of each in that. So I just wanted to let you know what's coming, what's going to be available to the customers. So I also wanted to show you, before I get started on my card, I wanted to show you the dies. Here we go with the stamp set. Oh, let me see. What you have here with the dies, you know, you can cut once you stamp it. I hope I'm in range here. Once you stamp it, you can just use it as a stamped image, or you can go ahead and cut this out. And what this is going to give you is like a 3-dimensional. And what I did was I made one. Now this is a little smaller because I cut it down here, so it's actually a little bit bigger. But I used the foil. I used that the dark navy blue foil, Night of Navy. And for this white piece here, I used the Mother of Pearl. Now I had it here somewhere. The Mother of Pearl. This paper is gorgeous. It's like a acetate on the top. This is in the mini catalog, and I wrote it down. It's on page 23. You get 2 sheets of it, and they come 12 by 12. And as you can see here, where I cut the wave out, and then I cut some seagulls out with it. And something, if you're into the alcohol inks, you can use your blends on this, and it dries. So there's a lot you can do with this. I hope this is going to be a carryover into the annual catalog. I do not know if that's going to happen yet, because we did not get the list out. And I don't know if there is a proper way of this going on, because as you see here, you have 1 rounded quarter and 1 straight here. I put the rounded one on first, and then this one with this straight edge. I really don't think it makes a difference, so you can just play around with it. So those are the dies for the wave. And then you have 2 label sentiments here that you have. You have this one here is for the pelican. Go like that. And then you have 2 clouds, your seagulls. Here's another label one. And then these 2 here were, I couldn't figure out what they were to go to. But what it is, it looks like this here. Get my little pieces out because I'm going to be needing some of them for my card. Now here's one little cloud here, which is this one there. And then you have the bigger one. Now I had sponged some blue over them, so the balmy blue, so if it looks like it's a little dark, that's why. This bigger piece here that cuts out, which is this one right here, this die here, it goes on. I gotta make sure I'm still recording. I don't want to go through all this and figure out I didn't hit start. It goes on the bottom of the cloud like that. It's just supposed to give it like a 3-dimensional look. And then the smaller one, if I can find it here, because I cut one of them up. Now I did have it. I don't think that one's it. I don't know. I had it here earlier. Oh, here it is, because it's blue. I couldn't see it. And then this one here will go on the bottom of that cloud like that. So it probably looks a little funny because my cloud is white, and then like I said, I had did that blue. So that will go on the bottom of the cloud. So if you're wondering what the heck is that piece go to, anyway, I saw it this morning on another video. I believe it was, I think the first name was Amy, but the last name was, I'll probably butcher the last name, Coenders. It was Koenders. She did a video on this, and she explained that that's what it was for. So I'm glad that she did that, because otherwise I wouldn't have known what it was for. But I'll show you what I used them for earlier or later. And then the seagulls, I had used that mother of pearl and cut the seagulls out with that. And it's, like I said, it's a nice heavy cardstock. So I don't want to lose these because I think I'm going to use them in my card that I'm going to make. So I think I went over everything that I wanted to before we get started. I'm going to need that. So I'm going to start on the card, and the first thing I am using is a piece of Calypso Coral, A2 size, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this is going to be my stamping page, stamping cardstock, basic white. It's a 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to use the wave. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. I'm going to come off a little bit off the bottom. I don't want it lined right up at the bottom there because I don't want it too high up there. I don't want that wave too high up on my cardstock there because I'm going to, I'm going to have a sentiment there. So I've got that stuck down there, and I'm going to use Balmy Blue. Make sure I'm in view here. Let me come up a little bit. I had just re-inked my stamps. Oh, you know what they say? Put your case underneath that. It makes it easier when you're inking it up. But I was saying I used my refills on a lot of my ink pads the other day. Make sure you wear gloves when you're re-inking your ink pads. I had ink all over my hands. It was like, oh, really? But it came off easy because they're water-based inks. And in your Stamparatus here, when you're working on your cling stamps, you don't need the rubber piece that comes with it. And I can tell now, I think I've got too much ink. Yeah, I inked it up too much. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start over on another piece. And I want to come up higher. All right, all else fails. Start over. Put that down there. Now I gotta clean my stamp off. Better remove it. This is where I'll get ink all over myself. We're having a windy day here in Delaware. Cold and windy. Alright, I think I will have to come up a little higher. Alright. Maybe I won't press as hard this time. Let's see what we get. Looks good. We just need some over here. I don't want to press too hard or it's going to look like the other one. Just like right down in that area. Maybe I'm too far. No, I should catch it. like you can still see the ink on that. I wonder why it's not transferring. Maybe I need to stand up and press a little harder. That's a little better. Sorry for the shaking. That's going to have to be good enough. Alright, and that was Balmy Blue for that. Take this off here. Put it on my chamois. And I want to put a sun on here, so I'm going to remove this because I want to get the pad under it, because you need the pad for photopolymer stamps. So this is the deluxe pad, so let me slide that underneath there. And those magnets are strong. Very strong. I had actually, they broke the day after I got them because I accidentally dropped it and it snapped. Actually, I could have just used the block for this, but I'm going to put a sun right up here. Oh, you're asking, what is that come from? This is the watercolor shape. I'm using this one right down here. And as you can see, it's going to look like it's blotchy because that's the way the watercolor shapes were made. So it's going to have that look to it. And I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. One more time. That's going to be my sun. Alright, let me just get this out of here. And we can go from there. We got our wave done. That's all right. Okay, now I'm going to, I had already stamped out the pelican. I used Memento on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends. And what I did was I'm just going to use the bronze and the ivory. For the bronze, I'm just going to come down along the side here where it's dark. Well, as you can see here, there's another one. Actually, I can use this one here because it's a little bit, shows up a little bit more. Where it's dark, I'm just going to go over the dark part here with the bronze color. Just kind of follow that down. My cat's in here. She's like, what are you doing, Mom? I'll come down the other side. Just kind of don't want it to be a straight line. And then I'm taking the ivory, I'm just going to go down the middle of that. I think the new Stampin' Blends that are out with the flesh colors would be great to have for I mean, not only for, you know, skin colors, but for even like your wood colors, like in this case. Just come a little bit in the middle there. So that's it from a pelican, the wood part. And then for the pelican itself, I am just using dark gray and the light gray. For the dark, I'm just going to go along the belly here where it's dark. Now, you don't have to use Stampin' Blends on this. I mean, you could just stamped it and left it without coloring at all. And then I'm going to bring the light in. A small piece here. That's why I like using the point. That. And then just go over the whole thing. Like that. And then for the beak, I'm using Calypso Coral Light. Now that beak is really tiny, so you don't want to press too hard. Just very lightly with the point. Come up like that. All right. And that is going to go here like this. Actually, when I did the water, I should have came out a little bit farther here. So it covers up the whole thing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this down on my card base. Okay, get that down. Now what I'm going to do, this stamp set here, Ocean Front, has some rocks in it. And I had stamped these out. This was in Crumb Cake, and this was in Soft Suede. And I'm just going to, there we go. This set doesn't come with dies, but these are just, you know, easy to cut out, fussy cut out. I'm just going to go around the dies here. Stamped image. When I look at these rocks, the first thing, they look like russet potatoes to me. Then I get hungry for potatoes. But they have that look with a little white blotches on them. You know how potatoes have, get those eyes on them if you don't eat them right away. All right, so there's one rock, and then this bigger one here. Some people love doing this. They'll just sit and fussy cut away. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want to pop dot this pelican up here like this. This is what I'm trying to do here. Oh, I know it. I didn't want, maybe that big one will cover up that water. That's too big. I think what I did was I used one of the smaller rocks. Actually, maybe I'll use the bigger one. Cut another one out and then cut them in half. I should have had this done to save time. I like to keep my videos on the short side. That's why I have a lot of stuff already done beforehand. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is use that bigger one. And just cut it out like that. And that will come down here. So I can just cut this, kind of round that off there. So I'm going to get some mini dimensionals on here. Actually, I could probably use some regular ones. Favorite one. I don't want too many down there at that bottom because I'm going to try to tuck it in behind that rock. And I got a half of one right there for the head. That can go there. I'm going to put one in here. I don't want it. Alright, so let me see here. I go like that, and then I'm going to pop dot that up. That one's going to stay down like that. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get this one. Get that one in here down. I'm anxious to see when other demonstrators get this set, to see what they do with it. It's going to be pretty neat. Okay, so let me see. Get some dots on this. Wish I could have used a big one on that. That comes up, so I do want some right there. And then this one will get, that will be popped dot up, and then I'm just going to glue that one down. So it looks like it's back behind there. I think I'll get that one on first. tuck it. That's what I didn't want. That's why I didn't want the Stampin' Dimensionals all the way down there at the bottom of the wood. And then these will have the dimensionals cover up that bottom. Before I do that, I think I'll just darken this in so you don't see the white. I like to use my practice cards to give to my husband. Because if they don't turn out all that great, he's not going to notice. He wouldn't notice it anyway. Actually, oh, that's right, because you're not going to see what I'm about to do. So, now that they're down, I used the Happy Birthday on the Waves of Inspiration and the die. That was the wave dies. So I was going to pop dot it up, but I'm going to have a cloud here that's going to be raised. And my seagulls, so I want to get this down first. And then I can decide where the birds will go. There we go. Whoops. All right. Now, a cloud. Get these out. All right. Now, do I want? Oh, shoot. I meant to sponge blue all over that background. I'll show you my card. That's got glue on it. That I did before this one. I sponged up because I don't want to do it now, because it might change the color of the sun and I don't want to hit my pelican. So I had it written down. My first step was to blend that sky. So now that can't be doing that. So here's what I'm going to do with the pieces here. I'm going to use my sponge dauber, Balmy Blue. I'm just going to ink up this in blue. Leave some white showing. And then I had a smaller one here I could use. There it is. Okay. I'm going to use it as a wave around the rocks. And I'll cut this one down like that. Actually, I got too much blue on that. Let me try this one here. I think that's good enough. Now, a good idea is if you're going to die cut those out, use the adhesive sheets. So you have, all you got to do is pull that adhesive off. And it's easier to stick that way instead of doing what I'm doing right now. And they are tiny. Same with the seagulls. I'm just going to put that on here like this. Make it look like that's water splashing up. And I can get a little piece. Maybe cut a piece off of there. Maybe I'll leave it alone because it's just too small. Maybe I put it down and then cut it off. Just stick it down there like that. Snip it. Down. And there you go. So that was supposed to go on the cloud, but I'm using it. It looks like water splashing around the base of those rocks. So then let's see, my clown. I have a blue one here. Let me get some color up in there. Like I said, the card I did earlier had the blue background, and that way, look, you know, looks all right when you have a white cloud. I think I need my minis for this. Cloud down here, and my little seagulls. Actually, you're not even going to see them because that's, well, you'll see them a little bit, but like I said, if it was blue, let me stamp some little ones here, just around. Over here. That breaks it up a little bit. Alright, now let me see what this seagull will look like on here. I could probably sponge. Go ahead, Barbara, just do it. Just get some glue up in there. It's only going to my husband. He's not gonna care. He said, "Oh, honey, that's just beautiful. You did a good job." That's better than Hallmark. Just go for it. Just take the heck with it and go for it. Get some blue down there. See, that's what happens if you don't dab it off. That's good enough. Try to blend that out. Too bad I can't put a cloud down there too far. Alright, now get that seagull trying to get away from me. And don't forget, you have some Wink of Stella. I'm going to put that on the wave. I'll tell you another thing that would really look cool. Get some Versamark and use some clear or even white up on that, up on the wave here. I think would look pretty neat. I think that's why I liked using that mother of pearl, because that's what this what like here kind of reminds me of, like a Versamark. Where's the other bird? Yeah, these are so tiny. You are going to have glue coming out. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's do that. Let's get that seagull down there on that spot. Got glue all over it. That's good enough. Now my little Wink of Stella. Just come up here on the wave. Give it some sparkle. Actually, I could have made that a little darker at the bottom of the wood pile there. What you call those? So on a small piece, you got to be careful again if you're going to use the liquid glue, because it's going to come out. It's best to use the adhesive. So there is my card for my hubby. Now let me show you the card that I already made. It came out cute. And then on the inside, here it is here. And that's what I meant to do first before I did anything, before I even put the wave on. I wanted just to sponge the sky blue. So this sentiment here, my love for you is bigger than the ocean, comes from Well Done, right here. Very appropriate, I thought. And then for the inside, see the waves were a little bit, well, I'm calling them waves coming up over that rock there. A little more blue. Stood out a little bit more than this. And originally I had used black for cut out on the seagulls, and I didn't like that, so I went over it. So you can see a little bit of black, which actually kind of looks neat. For the inside, I used the basic borders, the cloud die right here, and just went around it. Kind of looked like water. And I stamped out the gentle waves. I used just part of that. And for the bottom there. So those are the two cards that I made with the new Waves of Inspiration. So I hope you enjoyed watching. What a time I had with this, but in the long run, I'm satisfied it came out nice. So if you don't have a demonstrator, and I would love for you to contact me if you would like. And I think that's about it. If you decide, I will have everything listed down below, the video of the items that I used, and the host code. If you place an order, my host code for February is listed right here. And I think that's it, gang. Thank you very much for joining me today. Have a great day and a weekend. Until then, bye.